By 2015, the Earth will have a new grid of energy. This new energetic grid will effectively change the conditions for life on our home planet, and it will change the way in which we relate to energy. This is a simple demonstration to show how things are changing. What you see is a crystal quartz pendulum suspended on a bit of string above an arrangement of copper wire held in a wooden case. I'm doing my best not to move my hand. The idea is to show you that the pendulum is in fact rotating above the copper wire out of what you might say its own free will. And I cannot pretend to be able to explain to you how this is working. But clearly there is a new sense of relationship between human beings, the universe, and energetic flow. What I can say was the plans for this were presented to me by a medium. She received them and we had this copper prototype made. I'm told that on other planets such devices are the size of houses and are used to channel energy freely through the universe. And of course in the new age, where we come to know that the universe is energy, we will be, as I've said before, living on what we give away, the energy that we give to others, rather than through the energy that we accumulate in material objects. Well, as you can see, the pendulum is spinning rather vigorously. And we know that things are beginning to change on the planet. We can choose to ignore the idea of change, but even governments now are talking about heightened activity, solar flare activity in the sun, activity that will disrupt our infrastructure on Earth, disrupt everything really that is electromagnetic. And the reason for this is because changing energetic conditions on Earth will mean that the way we use energy will change fundamentally. So I thought we'd try and expand upon this statement. The idea that increased solar activity, solar flare activity, might represent not just the manifestation of physical change from our sun, but also the idea that the sun is itself on a journey of transition. Like everything else, it is learning to resonate and adjusting to the new energetic vibrations. And these energetic vibrations are catalyzed, if you like, by the passing of Nibiru, a planetary body, through our solar system. As I've said, Nibiru is the catalyst that effectively heralds the arrival of the new energy. And as it passes closer to the sun and closer to the Earth, we can expect to see massive upheaval. But these upheavals are not just the manifestation of physical change, they are also the manifestation of inner change. For the journey for us all is essentially inner or esoteric. So the idea I want to talk about is this one of duality. On the one hand, we have these ideas backed by hard science of coming great physical change. And we will have to cope with these changes. But of course, our journey, not just our journey, the journey of the Earth and the Sun, is also an inner journey of development. Let's start with the Sun. The physical manifestation of change that we see will be solar flares that affect our weather patterns. And we have this idea of the sun being this gigantic mass of energy, and it is always in a constant state of flux. Solar activity, solar flare activity, has always been a predictor of weather patterns. But of course, with the passage of great heavenly bodies through our inner solar system, and the effect of the great magnetic tail of this heavenly body, it is affecting the sun. which, as we know, has another role. It is the heart chakra of the universe. And as such, the sun is the integrator of opposites in the psyche. The mind, the body, the male and the female, the persona, the shadow and the ego and the unity. The sun is a living, conscious mass of energy, as I've said, and it is struggling to readjust to the changes that are coming. And then there is the earth, which is also attuning to the new vibrations. And as I've said, by 2015 there will be a completely new grid of energy that surrounds the earth. The energetic transition of the earth will be complete, and it, like the sun, will be starting a new phase in its evolution. The physical or outer manifestation of change will perhaps manifest itself in a slight pole shift, tectonic upheaval, volcanic activity, the emergence even of new land masses. And these are all things that the earth has experienced before. And then what about us? We are part of the earth. We are the being of the earth that has consciousness or self-consciousness. We are the being that can look in the mirror and say, I am. So the changes that are happening to the sun and earth are also happening within us. We are also integrating the opposites of the psyche, the mind, the body, the male, the female, persona, shadow, ego and unity. And by opening our heart chakras and resonating with the new vibrations, we can fulfill our sense of compassion, learn to love deeply out of our free will, and attain a new sense of peace and centeredness. But of course, whatever planetary conditions emerge through this transition, it is effectively the baseline for the emergence of a new infrastructure, a new technology, and that will depend on the way things pan out in terms of the relationship between matter, energy, thought and spirit. The great human role in all this is not just to raise ourselves to work at these new vibrations, but to look back on the earth and realize that we are a living part of this web of consciousness. We will effectively be part of a living technology. And our job is to help raise consciousness, raise the consciousness of everything else on the planet. And we can do this out of our own free will and out of our compassion, because we will have learned the importance of self-consciousness. So we can expect, as government sources say, our infrastructure that we currently have to come under severe pressure. But it is no good holding on to what we've got. We must begin to look forward and look towards new ways of working. The idea of energy being shared, energy being a freely available resource. As Albert Einstein once said, any intelligent fool can make things bigger or more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. We will be talking more about energy in future broadcasts.